Every time a child walks through our classroom door, we make an unspoken promise. We promise to see them, to nurture their minds, and to give them the tools they need to build a bright future. But across our schools, this promise is not being kept for every child. We see clear and persistent patterns of unfairness. Some children, often those from families with less money or from backgrounds that have been historically marginalized, are not thriving. They leave our primary schools without the strong foundations they deserve. This is not a reflection of their ability. It is a reflection of a system that is not yet designed to serve them all equally. The problem is urgent, and the responsibility to fix it rests heavily on our shoulders as educators. Consider a simple, everyday scenario that plays out in schools everywhere. A teacher asks students to write about their summer holidays. One child writes about a trip overseas, full of rich details that easily translate into a high-scoring piece of writing. Another child, who spent the summer at home helping care for younger siblings, struggles to connect with the prompt. Their experience is just as valuable, just as full of learning, but the task does not recognize it. The second child may receive a lower mark, not because they are less capable, but because the curriculum did not make space for their reality. This small moment of disconnection, repeated day after day, creates a deep and damaging gap in achievement and belonging. It comes from curricula that value one way of life over others. It comes from tests that measure a narrow slice of knowledge. It comes from unspoken biases that cause us to have lower expectations for some students. The urgency to address this comes from deep professional and moral responsibility. We entered this profession to make a difference, to open doors for children, not to close them. We cannot stand by while predictable patterns of failure continue. The time for change is now, and that change begins inside our own classrooms. The good news is that we are not powerless, you know. Teachers hold the most powerful key to a more just and equitable educational experience for every child. We can choose to teach differently. We can choose methods that challenge the status quo, that honor every child's identity, and that empower them to become active and engaged learners. This is not about adding more to our already full plates. It is about transforming what is already on our plates, rethinking, and recommitting so every child can succeed. To change these unfair outcomes, we need more than just good intentions. We need a new compass to guide our teaching. This compass is what we call transformation pedagogy. This might sound complicated, but the idea is simple and powerful. Teach in ways that not only transfer knowledge but also transform students' lives and their world for the better. It actively works to reduce injustice, rather than accidentally reproducing it. It is built on the belief that all students are brilliant, and our job is to create conditions where that brilliance can shine. It is not a program or a rigid script. It is a mindset informing every decision we make. Transformation pedagogy rests on 4 key goals, or pillars. The first is quality teaching. This is the foundation of everything. Instruction is clear, effective, and ensures every child masters essential skills. The second is culturally responsive teaching. Let's imagine how these pillars look in a real classroom. First, clear vocabulary through direct instruction, quality teaching. Invite a local community elder or a knowledgeable gardener to share traditional uses of native plants. Culturally responsive. For the final project, skip the multiple choice test. Have groups design a small community garden, showing life cycles in practical ways. Authentic assessment. Discuss why some neighborhoods have more parks than others, and write to the council with ideas. Critical pedagogy. Transformation requires partnership with those who know our students best, their families and communities. Too often, parents are invited only when there is a problem. A transformative approach sees families as essential partners. Hold meetings at times working parents can attend, ask for insights about strengths, and invite families to share skills and stories. Step beyond the school gates to learn the community. This builds trust, strengthens support, and makes learning richer and more relevant for everyone. The journey toward justice begins with a relentless focus on quality teaching. This is the non-negotiable foundation. Without excellent instruction, other efforts will fail to equip students with needed skills. Design every lesson with clarity, purpose, and commitment to mastery. Break complex ideas into manageable steps. Model your thinking out loud. Provide abundant guided practice before independence. Hone the craft of teaching to a sharp edge. High expectations are the beating heart of quality teaching. Believe every child is capable of rigorous work. Communicate that belief daily through words and actions. Do not lower the bar. Build scaffolds to reach it. Give the same challenging problem. Support with manipulatives as needed. A multiplication chart. The chance to work with a partner. Maintain rigor while tailoring supports. Message: I know you can do this, and I am here to help you, right? Effective feedback is specific, timely, task-focused. Structure lessons for impact. I do, we do, you do. No child left to figure it out alone. Confidence grows step by step. Section 4, the second pillar, weaving culture into the fabric of learning. Once quality teaching is in place, build with culturally responsive teaching. It is not an add-on or a special event. It shifts how we see students and design learning. Intentionally weave cultural knowledge, languages, experiences, and perspectives into everyday curriculum. When students see themselves and their communities reflected, school stops being foreign and starts feeling like home. Change your shelves, show many kinds of families, value home language as a bridge, talk in it, then express ideas in English. Invite community voices. Everyone's learning is enriched. Become learners ourselves, know students' interests, traditions, skills, and connect lessons to their world. How we measure learning sends a loud, clear message about what we value. For too long, we relied on standardized tests and right or wrong worksheets. They offer a quick snapshot but miss depth and breadth. Authentic assessment calls us to rethink. Use meaningful, contextual tasks that mirror real life. Assess what students can do with knowledge, not just recall. Instead of a fractions test, plan a class party. Survey preferences, calculate amounts for everyone, use recipes to figure fractional ingredients. This engages and reveals computation, problem-solving, collaboration, communication. Share clear rubrics before they begin. Demystify expectations. Co-constructing rubrics builds ownership. Offer multiple ways to show learning. Honor diverse strengths. This is a more just and accurate picture of learning. When assessment is authentic, every child gets a fair chance to show what they know and can do. Section 6, the fourth pillar, planting the seeds of critical consciousness. Critical pedagogy teaches children to be curious, compassionate, courageous thinkers. Read not just the word, but the world. Create space for questions about fairness, power, and justice. Even the youngest notice what is fair. Walk the neighborhood. Ask, what did we notice? Parks, safe footpaths. Why do some areas have more trees? Study ads. Who is shown playing? Are toys gendered? Who made this ad and why? Texts are not neutral. Nurture agency. Write letters, create awareness, design a dream playground. Even if change is slow, the process matters. Teach them their voices matter, and that working together can make the community fairer. Section 7, putting it all together, your first steps on the path to justice. We have explored a powerful, just, transformative vision. The 4 pillars, quality teaching, culturally responsive teaching, authentic assessment, critical pedagogy, and partnerships with families and communities. Start small. Choose one manageable action. Give specific feedback. 3 brief conferences a day. Learn one new thing about a student's life and use it in class. Swap one worksheet for an authentic task. Ask one why question after a story. Find a thought partner. Reflect together each week. Leaders. Make time. Celebrate risks. Grow a culture of learning. The future can be fairer, and it begins with the brave, hopeful work we do today.